This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Propel Fitness Water. With Gatorade electrolytes, zero sugar, and vitamins, Propel hydrates better than water to help you get the most out of your workout and get back to your best self. What propels you? Propel with Gatorade electrolytes.
AI is moving fast across the enterprise. But without visibility, it's just chaos. Different tools, different models, different teams using AI in completely different ways. ServiceNow turns that chaos into control. With the AI Control Tower, you see all your AI across the business in one place. What it's doing, what it's done, and what it's about to do. So you stay in control. To put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey everybody, welcome to Coach Unplugged. So excited you decided to join us today. Before I jump into the podcast, go over and leave a 5-star review. We really love those reviews. Leave some comments. I read all of them and we would really appreciate that. But before we get started, I definitely want to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the #1 shooting machine on the market, bar none. Mention Coach Unplugged, you get $450 off and you'll get the best customer service you'll ever expect. Just mention Coach Collins and they'll take really good care of you. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It is the one-stop shop for basketball coaches. It's something, you know, when I started teachhoops.com, it was what I would have wanted as a young coach before, you know, all the state championships and all the nationally ranked teams that I've coached. And not to brag, just to kind of tell kind of my journey, I would have killed for this stuff because it would have made my life so much easier. A little bit of everything that you need to become a better basketball coach. And we are the only people out there that offer 14-day free trial because we believe in it so much. Follow the roadmap, work on your craft, and you get me one-on-one mentoring. So I can't imagine anything better than that. I don't know. Anyway, go over and check it out. And let's head off to the podcast.
We're going to talk about players today. Players in regards to having our preseason meeting with our players. What we do, how we handle it, the information that we give them, and basically how we kick the season off before it all begins, the first day of practice.
Now, my assumption has always been that coaches have preseason meetings.
I always did.
Can I assume that?
Can you assume that? Not always.
I don't know. I mean, I just think of all the people that are listening to this. I'm assuming I have several meetings where they are both administrative and we discuss the upcoming tryouts, the upcoming season, the upcoming expectations. So I tend to, you know, I won't have one, you know, we start in the middle of November. I will have one end of September. I will have one end of October. End of September one is more administrative for me. It's more, make sure if you're not out for a fall sport, make sure you have your physical, make sure you have all the forms done, all the, you know, waivers, all the, you know, legal things done. So I will do that one. And then I will give a short spurt about the season and the expectations. Then my October meeting tends to be, okay, here's what we're about. Here's, you know, normally if you look, I have every picture of every team I've coached as far as a head coach in my room. I'll go look at the numbers over there. I keep anywhere from 13 to maybe 15 or 16. Okay, so start doing the math. I'm not keeping 20 kids on my varsity roster. It's not fair. So then we talk about roles. We talk about expectations. We talk about, you know, all sorts of, not only you better be there on time for tryouts, what I'm looking for in tryouts, what my, you know, all those kind of things, along with the administrative part. But I think like we were talking about last week, that communication part is important. There can be some self-selection at that point. There can be like when mom and dad come back and say, well, Johnny didn't know well, Johnny should have known. There were announcements at school. We had meetings at school. I handed all the forms out. I let them know when tryouts would be. I let them know when I was going to pick the team. I let them know that there was the 48-hour rule, which I would not talk to the parents. All those things I discussed with the boys in those meetings. So depends on the year. Sometimes I'll have 2, sometimes I'll have 3. But again, over communicating to them about expectations and what's coming, because they want to know. They're excited too.
I think the biggest mistake I have made is that a lot of the preseason meeting is player and parents. I think it's really important, and after talking to you and I've done in the past, is I think the player meeting is far more important than the player and parent meeting if you decide to have one. Because how you talk to your player, the information that is the most important is the information that the players want. The parents just want to know when practice is my kid's going to make the team,
Yes.
That kind of thing. That's all they care about. They're just invested in their kid,
Right.
And that makes sense. They're their parents,
Yep.
From the player standpoint, is like, how are we going to work together to be successful? How am I going to make this team? And lay it all out. You can have far more better discussions when it's just circled around the players, because really in the end, it's about that.
And my advice, and again, depends on your community. I know there's people in our league that do a parent-player meeting before the season. That's great. I want to talk to the players. Most of them are anywhere from 16 to 18 years old. They're young men. They can convey what I'm saying to their parents if they want. I do my parent meeting after I've picked my team. So that's the way I do it. It's not right or wrong. I know there's a lot of people that will do these meetings and have the parents there before, which is great too, because then they're hearing something else. I just, I'll realistically have 30, 35 kids and half of them won't make it. I don't feel like I should have to have their parents of all those kids there at that meeting. I don't feel it's like, I don't know. I'm sure I could do it that way, but it's similar to my classroom, and I teach juniors and seniors, so I'm a little different than Coach. And I tell them the first week of school that I'm not going to call home, that I'm going to talk to them. When parents come to go to school night or we do parent-teacher conferences, I said, I'm going to communicate with your son or daughter. That is my first line of defense, my second line of defense, my third line of defense. If I call home or email home, it's gotten to a level that's way up here, because I'm trying to teach them skills about being a student, about making up their work, about that kind of stuff. You don't need to be involved. Probably or half of my students are going off to college next year. So you're not going to be there to check to see if they did their homework. You have the online thing you can check, but I'm going to convey and communicate with them. I would expect the same back. So that's what I tell my parents when we meet. But anyway, I digress. What else, Coach? Anything else?
I think early on, a player meeting is a great way to enforce being well conditioned before the first day of practice.
Yep.
Comparing those kids, if you're not conditioned, you're going to suffer. Your body's going to suffer, and I'm not going to feel sorry for you. It's basketball. We have a lot to do. I think it's a great way to say these are the numbers. I'm taking the best 12 best basketball players. It's not, especially those guys of art. You got to communicate. This is what it is. I don't make any promises. They got to know that.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think that's a great thing about that. We talked about conditioning a couple of weeks ago. That's a great thing. It's like we do 2-a-days. So if you're not in shape, school's going to be miserable for you too.
Big time.
So let's be real. Here's how it's going to work. You better be in shape. And it's not football shape. If you're a lineman on the football team, that is not basketball shape. What are you going to do to get your body in shape so you're able to go? Because we got 9 days and then we got a scrimmage, or 7 days we got a scrimmage, and then we got 10, whatever it is, depending on your league. So you just got to be aware of that. I think that's perfect. Anything else on this topic?
Nope.
Okay. What's our
full timeout is for or against a early timeout in the game?
Personally?
Yeah, personally.
Never. I never call an early timeout. I got literally when Germantown was kicking our butt in 2012, I took an early timeout, but it was already over at that point. A couple of years ago in the La Follette game, I took one. This goes back to what we were just talking about. I want them to work through it. I do not want to take one early. It's got to be bad for me to take one early.
What
Now-
about if you know that the one thing I agree with you to a certain extent, but I think I've had young teams before that sometimes if you get to know your kids, that sometimes an early timeout, they can be able to respond pretty quickly.
It can, and I'm not.
I think it's based on a group, what you do.
And earlier in my career, when we didn't have as much talent as we have now,
Right.
I probably took them earlier. You know, it's been a long time since I remember not being like, whoa, we're way outmanned. I haven't felt like we've been outmanned, but I never felt like, whoa, we've been way outmanned.
So what do you do when you're super pissed off and you're just irritated and you want to take your time out?
I throw more gum in. I swear to God, if anybody ever comes to watch me coach, my brother goes, "You look like you're 12. Why are you chewing all that gum?" It's because I'm chewing the gum because it's like I'm letting out my angst at that point.
Right.
It's
so easy to yell timeout and you want to scream. Like you just.
I've won so many games because I've had timeouts, and I feel like I've lost games because I haven't had. And it probably goes back. It almost goes back 10 years for that 2011 state championship game when we won it. And we shouldn't have, and I had all those timeouts left because I didn't
have those timeouts. That never happens, Coach.
And I know. So it's like I'll take one early in the second. I'll definitely take one early in the second, but I don't. And we play halves for the people listening. I know a lot of people play quarters. So I'll take one early in the second half if I feel like we need it. Because, we play such a long game. Like a little run's not going to hurt me. It's like we're down 4. So what? There's like.
Do you think it's important just to emphasize as coaches there's other things that you can do to get yourself back into a game besides calling a timeout?
Yeah, I think that's part of it too. That might be a good season thing because we could talk about timeouts. We could
talk about that, like whether it's a press, whether it's.
I think timeouts could be a whole during the season podcast. Let's save that.
Or if anybody has questions directly about timeouts,
Yeah.
I've won games because I've had timeouts at the end of the game.
Right. Oh, I'm gonna die with thousands of timeouts left. Yeah. I will always have one if I need it. Usually, sometimes I won't, but normally I will have one. All right, perfect.
Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you subscribe and like no matter where you listen, Apple, Spotify. We love those 5-star reviews. Make sure you also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better.
NFL football season is here, which means when you switch to Verizon, it feels like touchdown because you get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us when you buy an eligible 5G phone on select unlimited plans, which means you can watch every out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon, and it's all on us. Now that's the Verizon way to kick off the NFL football season right. Switch and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us, only with Verizon.
See you.
Avatar: Fire and Ash is now streaming on Disney+. It's the film critics are calling the best Avatar yet.
Yeah! Go, 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 go!
A true epic and completely jaw-dropping.
This is the only pure thing in this world.
Return to Pandora on Disney+.
It will be an adventure for the whole family.
And watch the Oscar-winning phenomenon at home.
This is sick!
Avatar: Fire and Ash, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.